carry up against a very scary Medusa. Not only a Medusa, you've got your incredibly strong, some might even say busted Magnus, but a Magnus that's even able to buff up the Ember Spirit as well. So I think we should have a pretty solid game here. Let's get ourselves underway.
I mean, you know, I always love to tease you a little bit. So there's an Arc Warden in the game, which you hate, and there's a Venomancer in the game, which I love. So I like the way that this is starting off. Not sure if I have the greatest fan of this ward placement coming through. They're basically both covering the exact same area with these wards placed down by Big Brain. So a little bit of a smooth brain move coming through from them, unless they're really just trying to protect against any sort of rotations coming through from the Mirana towards that mid lane.
Come on, don't speak about yourself like that. Not nice.
My brain is wrinkly as hell, all right? It's not the only thing about me that's wrinkly these days.
Huh?
Wrinkled brain, more folds, more surface area, smarter. Smooth brain. Koalas have smooth brains, so they're dumb as hell.
Man, you're really calling koalas out like that?
Bro, they are.
They're too cute, man.
They sleep like 22 hours a day, and they're so stupid. Anything that eats eucalyptus, which has like 0 nutritional value, is just dumb as a rock.
Just living life, man. Just having a good time. Getting high.
Just chlamydia.
Come on. Leave him alone, dude. I don't know.
I wonder if they're going to be able to get a kill at this bottom lane. You've got Venomancer, you've got a Mirana. Just keeping mindful of where the vision is at the moment. Maybe just trying to bait them into like an aggressive-ish move onto the Veno, but maybe he's gone a little bit too deep for himself.
Veno? Looks like at least with the arrow connecting.
It was a bait.
Earth Spirit?
Oh, nicely done.
Okay, never mind. I was going to say, can you deny
it was the
Blood Grave, but the Gale. Well, that was a very awkward sequence of events. I mean, Veno almost steps too far and almost gets blown up, and then they
But it was a bait. It was a bait, right? Like he wanted to make sure that you skilled either the boulder smash or even just the rolling boulder, right? Even if he skilled rolling boulder, it would have been 15 seconds until he was able to roll again, so it really wouldn't have changed anything. So really this game comes down to, like, do they have answers to be able to deal with this Medusa? They've got no mana burn. None of these heroes really like to build into it. So it's really just going to be on the back of God King. And if they're able to make enough space for him to be able to have a good start, so that with that Midas and I would assume just the Manta timing, maybe Maelstrom first, you're going to look to try and overwhelm this Medusa before she gets out of control. That first blood would have really helped things, but not going to be the case.
How concerned though are you if Medusa gets out of control? Because I felt like a lot of teams, how they look to address the Medusa is just outranging her. Like your Drow, your Sniper, and Arc Warden's one of them as well. So we actually see bottom lane with the level 2. A lot of damage into the Venomancer. TSJ wasn't able to catch up. So
they could very easily kill him, but they didn't throw the blood grenade out. So Kill might be gone begging a little bit there. Them playing a little bit more passively on the old Veno.
So I just remembered as well, I've taken a look at top lane as Arc Warden's in a lot of trouble. God King tries to stand strong. He's going to be able to secure first blood. They should get a double as well. So out of leap charge, another round of the Arcane Curse. He's going to pop a Tango. Looks like he will. So with that, should be able to stay alive.
God, he ate a tree, which bumped his stats down a little bit as well. So I was like, oh, is he going to actually be enough to be able to get the kill? But, I mean, if you're forced all the way back to base as well, it really doesn't feel like it's worth it. You know, you just basically gave away 50 gold off eating that Iron Branch when you could have just eaten a tree from the side. It doesn't provide extra healing like it did previously. It just lasts twice as long.
So one thing I just realized is we've got TZ playing top with God King. So it's not the lovely Desire. It's TZ from Meteor. Okay, Desiree, Desire, but it's TZ. So we saw him with Meteor Gaming. Was a pretty strong position 5 for them. Big reason why they're able to help secure a lot of the games for so. See how he's going to be able to help protect God King as well.
We shall see.
So, dude, Cicada getting bodied mid lane. Chosen 23 and 2 compared to the 14 and 3. I didn't think it was this Ember favored, but maybe it might be a little bit more different now with the Bracer getting delivered on Cicada, so that extra damage might be able to help himself out.
It's not just the extra damage, but even just like the stats coming through, right? Obviously, he had the circlet previously, but just that little bit of extra armor is useful because have a look at the old Chosen One item build. He's chosen to go into the Blightstones. So against a Void Spirit, relatively low armor to be able to start the game off, bringing him down to, well, it would have been 0 at the time. At least he's going to have 1 armor now off the back of every single Sleight of Fist, but it's only going to get stronger and stronger with him about 1 last hit away from being able to hit up onto that level 5.
Do we feel like one side compared to the other has an easier way to be able to secure some of these early runes as well?
I mean, both certainly have the capability to do it. I'm just wondering, like, with this Venomancer, like, are you needing to stay in the lane? If you leave the lane on the Voids, on the Earth Spirit, does that leave your Deucer in trouble, like we're kind of seeing now? Already got 5 charges up from the Sticky.
I'm gonna try
diving under a tower.
And you are getting a kill as well, but you're also going to be giving over a couple kills. So beautifully done. Just an easy rotation out of the Mirana, all they needed. And with the Venomancer, at least he can land his spells. If he dies, it's a worthwhile cause. So a bit of a questionable dive out of the tower. Rainpaws, he's going to be loving life now. Gets a free wave to be able to farm up. Tread's already completed as well for him. So it's off to a very good start here for the Medusa.
This is rough as well for Cicada. Like, you're almost hitting up onto level 6 here on Chosen One. He just got the bottle refill. He's got a full Orb of Corrosion. So once again, not so much under the tower, but you are still going to be copping a lot of this right-click harass. And, well, if he gets caught by the Venomous Gale, he doesn't have...
Bottom lane? Okay. We saw what happened last time. So even though they burned through all the mana, they will think twice about continuing that dive.
Of this aggression coming through from Limit Gaming for the top lane. It's going to be a shield rune there, but again, you don't have level 6 yet on the Void Spirit, so looking to try and make a bit of an aggressive play, but without the Searing Chains, won't be able to convert onto it. No real significant damage done to that mid-tier 1 tower as well, so even though it is a movement away coming through from TZ, it is still just keeping Cicada safe for this next little bit. He's got his level 6 now. Should be A-OK. Very important that this rotation comes through from the Mirana as well. They're still going to be able to get the kill. I mean, they've been 2v1 for quite some time, right? And they actually missed the Gale as well. CSJ going to be able to walk away. Didn't get that right click off from the Poison Sting before going for the Venomous Gale. So, yeah, able to dodge that one out. And you'd have to say that Batrider's relatively satisfied with how the start's going. Obviously, that dive under the tower wasn't the greatest, but he's going to get into the Vanguard soon enough and be able to make some havoc happen against this Deucer consistently. I mean, that's his main role, right? If your game doesn't go great, that's okay, as long as the Medusa's doesn't either. So the aggression needs to continue. It's just about making sure there's no response for the Arc Warden.
TZ might be able to get the kill onto the Mirana at least before she dies. And now meanwhile, God King as well is going to need some assistance. With the Vanguard on killer, he can dive, and he's also got Chosen One nearby as well. So beautifully done. Limit bringing multiple members up to the top lane. It's going to be a 2-for-2 trade in the end, but you of course are more than happy with that, being able to slow down God King's game.
So much damage. Cicada's going to be very careful with like how deep into... Actually, who's going to be careful here? Yeah, Cicada can't just stand in the middle of this creep wave. He gave over the Empower to the Ember Spirit before he left the lane, so it's a lot of right-click damage, and even just the cleave coming through off of the creeps.
Man,
what they need to do.
Are you serious? Rainpaw's another death. They're playing so aggressive up in the face of this carrier Medusa. No, it looks like he's going to be okay. So Spirit's able to step one out of danger as well. Beautifully done. Second death now in a row for the carry on Limit.
Means that they're able to get into the Zone of Shadows as well with a couple of charges. Spirit ends up using one onto himself as well. But you got to be careful. Like, where is Rainpaw's going to go now? I'm sure that's the discussion happening with the team. Can I afford to TP down to that lane? Am I needing... Yep, it looks like he is just going to look to pick up some of these neutral camps for himself.
The concerns need to be top. As 3 heroes, beautifully done once again with Killer. Not even going to require the RP. It's not even leveled. And again, Chosen One. He's able to connect to this attempt as well, so gets involved in another kill. It's going to help take the objective too. So they are going to have a lot of issues with addressing his Ember Spirit.
Rainpaws. This is a 1v3 again. I don't know if you can afford to be here.
Low level in Stone Gaze too.
No TP on the Mirana as well. She's coming through the Twin Gate. Might be able to connect onto the Silencer here, and should with the arrow. If they can give this kill over to Rainpaws as well, he's going to be very happy with it, which it will.
So, interesting choice from Rainpaws. I think we've been seeing a lot of the Bassi or Falcon Blade picked up from the Medusas, just with how much it's able to protect you. But it's just going to be the straight Yasha rush. I mean, the Faded Brooch is very nice for her, how slow she is and extra survivability with that mana increase as well, but...
I think it's just like... It's a calculated risk that you're taking, right? You want to make sure that you're getting into this Manta style earlier so that when the Arc Warden makes the rotation, you're just that little bit stronger. You know, you give up some of your early survivability.
Global Silence, TZ. He actually wants to jump on over the top from Cicada with a double step. Do they have to damage Ember? No way. Chosen One slips on out. That's the Global Silence expended as well. First one of the game. They're uneven to get the kill.
Even bullying Cicada away entirely, so he goes all the way back to base. You get the full refill up on everything on Chosen One. Get a kill. I mean, Rana's been playing this game pretty well so far. 6-1 and 3 off the back of a lot of these early rotates. I'm going to be able to get into that early-ish Arcane Boot. So, that, I mean, that's a little way to be able to save the Medusa as well, right? She's going into the Guardian Greaves. Good answer to the Earth Spirit. Well, honestly, they've got a lot of stuff coming over time for Big Brain here. So I like the way that he's looking to build. They haven't taken the Wisdom Rune yet, though, on Limit. So still have the potential to have some of these bigger ultimates up. And the fact that Venomancer is already level 6, even without that rune, is a big kudos coming through to him.
Yeah, 7 assists for him as well. So with all the action we've seen down bottom, he's even, again, used the Twin Gates very often as well. Now it's going to make it even easier for them to rotate across the map with the Tier 1 going down from Chosen One. Meanwhile, top lane though, Killer might need some assistance very deep inside the lane. We'll truly see the strength of the Vanguard, and well, even the Moonlight Shadow is going to help him with the cover of the Invis. So what do they rotate? They bring what, Silencer along with the Earth Spirit up top to try and get that kill?
Yeah, I believe so. They tried with the Moonlight Shadow as well, just not to enable him to retreat, but also potentially get a kill onto CSJ here on the bottom lane. Not going to end up happening, though, and he's still on his way to be able to finish up that Octarine. So, you know, we were saying before, it's just about what can you do when this Lasso and Global Silence are off cooldown. At least with this Octarine, it's not going to be quite as much downtime that Big Brain have to be able to play around with. So he's just looking to do everything he can to accelerate that farm as much as possible so that he could look to get active at every opportunity.
Cicada? Ooh.
They're just stealing away his farm, though.
Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned the Batrider. I'll admit, Global Silence is the 2 support, so they have enough damage, though. They're unable to bring him down, but the Ember might be able to turn it around, but the right-click's Chosen One just gets the slide off, and he's going to live. Oh, no, Wasika, no! And now the arrow connects. He's out of ultimates. Looks like a TP out will be successful. They'll turn for TZ instead, maybe an easier target. Everything is going right for Limit, though. Maybe not if Killer dies, but he's okay. You got Medusa being able to catch up and farm down bottom as well. So, wow. Very interesting start.
It is. I mean, just have a look at God King's build, though. No boots. He's just like, you know what? I'm going to maximize my farm. I don't need to move around all that much. Not going to be using boots of travel this time around. He finally does get them after finishing up the Maelstrom. When they're looking to get perhaps a tiny bit more active, you can see immediately going into the Manta style after this. I really want to see him try and get a bit more active on the map right now because your Void Spirit at this point just doesn't have a game.
They're trying to get him involved, though, especially with CSJ nearby with that completed Octarine. He's going to start to get a little bit more
Killer's
active across
got
the map as well.
They really wanted to protect
get
his high ground vision, too. Not quite. So this is what I was saying, right? He's gotten a pretty decent start to this game, you have to say, on Killer. Like 1-1-2, third on net worth, level with a Medusa, a little bit behind the Arc Warden, but you know what? It happens. Melee against the range with the Tempest, although dying here is not going to be ideal for him.
He's got no bullets to play with this. Oh, even RPs as well.
Not sure that's worth.
Not at all. So God King's able to get the kill to further that lead that he has over everyone else. Meanwhile, bottom lane though. Now this could be pretty big. CSJ, let's see if he's going to be able to read this Chosen One. Can he connect the chains? It looks like it's not going to matter. Just an overwhelming amount of slows, and they completely surround the Batrider to be able to limit his potential to disengage. So it will be a 1-for-1, an exchange of both offlaners across the map.
Oh, I was really wanting TZ to continue walking through. There are 2 Wisdom Runes sitting over there on the Radiant side, so they've let him cook. Would really bring up this Venomancer in terms of effectiveness, right? If you could start maxing out those Plague Wards, then it becomes a little bit harder for even someone like the Arc Warden to look to contest into. You don't want to be hitting Plague Wards, you want to be hitting Zeros with that Maelstrom proccing.
Speaking of the Arc,
they found the real one.
It's going to be on the mark again. They might be able to turn it back around though with the Global Silence protecting the Arc Warden. Godkin's going to stand strong.
Though.
He'll have the damage thanks to the Tempest double. CXK is going to be able to leap away. It's going to be a 1-for-1 once again. I don't know what that favors Radiant, I suppose. Arc Warden, top of the network, global use as well.
Yeah, I mean, and now it takes away a lot of their aggressive potential. You're not going to have as good scaling. Who have they found though?
Killer.
Oh, Killer to Killer. That makes it a lot more even. You know, I even think the fact that CXK ends up living at the end of all of that. He wasn't the one to get the last hit. No, it was the Magnus. But Mirana making sure that she lives, gets closer towards this mech. And of course, the Guardian Greaves as well, just to be able to have some sort of response to those eventual global silences that are coming out and the eventual, you know, geomagnetic grip as poor Veno, he's going to be dying as well. Someone's got to grab these Wisdom Runes, man. Like, you're giving away so much early tempo that you're needing to put on to the enemy team. Even Chosen One getting him at this rate, you know, bringing up to that level 12, getting that extra 100 damage into the Fire Remnants could be huge. Maybe they're just waiting 21 minutes, you know?
Ah, the extra cook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see. And it's... You know, it's one thing that Radiant haven't tried to get their own Wisdom Runes, kind of another that Dire haven't even attempted to steal it as well. I mean, we see it's very common. They've got pretty mobile heroes, especially with the Earth Spirit. Speaking of him, they're going to catch out Killer, farming up the Ancient Stack. So the ward already placed down. He's able to set up for a perfect movement from them. Pump fakes the RP. Unfortunately for him, a lot of the big creep's going to go the way of Big Brain too. And let's see if they slip on over to the left to scout out if the Wisdom Rune is there. Limit that.
What does he move, Benno?
Benno's going to try and swing on over. They've got the arrow from downtown. Will connect. Even Medusa wants to get involved for the first time. It's a lot of AoE damage thanks to the Venomancer. They're just going to slowly tick them down as Limit. Beautifully done. Multiple members show up to the party. Chosen One, much needed double kill for him as well to put himself back in a commanding position in this game 1.
Oh, I love me some 5 Venomancer, man. All you need to do is just hit him with that Noxious Plague, get a couple of Plague Wards down, press your Q and just randomly spam it in a fight, and then you're good. You know, you've done your job. They're going to focus you, but you've basically expended absolutely everything that you wanted to already. So, you know what? Go off, focus me. It's basically acting as a pseudo-taunt.
What are we hoping he goes for after the Solar Crest? I mean, he's got the Glimmer 4 stuff queued up. Do we like this kind of item progression from the 5 Veno?
I think the Force... I'm not the biggest fan of the full Glimmer Cape. I think you might be able to see some value out of just the Cloak. But I would be looking to go into the 4-star first, and maybe even... I know it's really greedy, but something like a Lotus Orb, just to be able to provide... See you, Veno. Some extra protection as he denies the bounty route. When this Global Silence comes out, right? You can already see Ember Spirit not going down the BKB route just because you know you're going up against a Batrider. So having that offensive Dispel is not just going to be effective against that, but also the Global Silence. maybe it might just be Mirana going into the Lotus. Yeah, seems like that's the case.
So Greaves Lotus going to be the call from CXK. 8-1-7 still for the Mirana. Incredible performance from him. Not sure when he died, but actually I'm pretty sure it was recent. So no gold like Shree. Bottom is really the big issue for them for Dai so far. Haven't been able to take any objectives. That's probably the big reason why Limit have this 1,000 net worth lead with the 2 towers they've been able to claim.
Carter's here and they see him. That's a deep dive, my guy. Actually gets connected on by that Venomous Gale. Gonna be forced all the way back.
Dire are scanning.
Wisdom Riz, man, they're triggering me. Well, all right, when do you think they're picking him up? I think it's going to be the 21-minute mark because they're going to think, maybe Tormentor. And then they're like, hey, has anyone grabbed those runes?
Probably. How much even experience is that going to be then?
God. Quick mass. No, it's not. Total?
No.
Are we assuming that there's going to be 3 there?
Ooh, CSJ. Hold that thought. Nice leap away. Should be able to get some separation. They're actually still hunting though. Lassos at the ready. They're going to be cautious if they group up because the RP is a big concern to turn it around, but that's where the Global Silence comes into play. It's going to help them retreat as well. CSJ Firefly expires so he doesn't make it up to the higher ground, and in the end, Rainpaw is somehow on the Deuce is able to catch up to him. So 1 for 1, another worthwhile exchange for Limit.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're popping the Global Silence for this. You don't have Lasso until the Batrider's back up again. So, again, if you're able to get these kills onto someone like the Medusa or the Magnus, I think you're generally okay, but it's certainly not worth it if you're just getting a kill onto the Mirana. So I think the total experience is going to be 1680. I think that each Wisdom Rune will be worth 840 at the time. No, wait, there's 3 of them.
It's juicy.
2,520. It's a lot.
That's a juicy one right there.
That's like 2 levels for a Mirana.
That's crazy. Screw the Mirana. She doesn't need it. Come on. Level 11. She
True. What's Venno gonna have?
Top lane, Cicada. Oh, Killer's going to get going. A lot of damage. Can he get the RP off before he dies? Not to be. Really nicely done with the Earth Spirit, Void Spirit combined together. Now CSJ's going to find an angle as well.
Be a good Noxious Plague though.
Drag back. It's setting up for the Arcborn to start to go to work as God King finally feels strong enough to be able to show up to some of the team fights, and they'll be rewarded. A deny as well makes it a 3 for 0 in the end. Finally, something will go the way of Big Brain. And now, off the back of that, they're the ones with the net worth lead.
I'm rocking in my chair right now. Get the Wisdom Runes, damn it. I've been patient all this time. Please. There's so much experience that could be going over to a Venom that just gets so much more effective purely off of levels. He would go up to level 11 off of picking these 3 up. It's such a big difference maker. But you got to say that was just Magnus being a little bit too greedy with his positioning. You know, you don't have that Blick Dagger just yet. The full team wasn't quite there. At least I believe they've got the Guardian Greaves now for the Mirana, so you have a little bit of a response to the Lasso global combination. Let's get off that Moonlight Shadow. It's going to be especially effective once the Mirana reaches level 15, which could come sooner if you grab those Wisdom Runes.
Hey, at least I got theirs. They're on the ball. The Spirit's well aware. Dude, God King's pretty rich, man. I'm a little worried for Radiant. I'm not gonna lie. The God King, if he can freely stand his ground and fight, and he definitely can, right? Unless he gets initiated on, you got the Void Spirit, Earth Spirit, and Batrider, who have all showcased so far this game. They are more than happy to put themselves up in the face of limits. So we're probably looking at the blink on Killer for him to close the distance onto the Arc Warden, but that is not going to be an easy task.
No, it's not, and it doesn't even seem like he wants to rush it. He's going BKB first, so he really wants his own response to the Global Silence as well, just to make sure that he's not the one that gets gone on consistently. I mean, if you know that you're popping the Global in combination with the Lasso, it means unless they can 100 to 0 you, then you're actually going to be able to have that BKB RP response a lot of the time. Good Plague Ward setup come through here, though.
Yeah. Very difficult for them to enter the high ground. They're still going to make the attempt. Off the mark with the roll, they might go for the Venomancer though instead. Simultaneous initiation means that multiple members on Radiant should end up going down to start the fight. Now they've got the Lasso drag back. The Global Sun's going to be ready as well. A little bit slow coming out though from TZ. I guess that's a big reason why Chosen One was still able to work around with the Manta style, so even if it was used, it would have slipped out.
So we were talking about the potential ways to be able to beat the Medusa in a lot of these engagements, and it's off the back of outranging her. So we were really thinking that God King would be looking to go into that early-ish Manta style, really just look to overwhelm the Medusa before she reaches that point where she's feeling incredibly strong. But he's just said, you know what, I'm having a good enough game. My team's making space for me. I can afford to get into that Dragonlance first before that happens. Please kill her. You see it. Please.
You see it, friend. You can do it. You can do it.
Please.
He's angling there.
No, please!
No. Maybe he told one of his teammates. Maybe he told his teammate. You know, it's like, come on, boys, just head over there. Some juicy stuff for you.
Have you ever known a core, especially a scaling core like a Magnus, to not want 3 tomes, basically?
Yeah, but he's level 17. You see the Venom level 9.
Doesn't matter. These are cores we're talking about.
You have a bad rep on cores. I don't know. There's some good ones out there. There's a few, but there's some good ones.
I'm sure there's a couple.
Maybe it's a Venom. You know, he's like, come on, brother. I'd like that. Sure, he would. Level 9 still, so like you're saying, someone who really gets a lot of value out of the levels, but not to be so far. Still another fight potential to break out. Spirit a little bit slow to be able to get to the Mirana though, so very even game state. We have Arc Warden well up top of the net worth, but the issue is the rest of Dire's cores are very far behind as well compared to his net worth. See, the Batrider had a great game, but 6 deaths for CSJ. They've been trying to make the attempt on the killer, but as soon as they see the Venom, it's going to reset.
So Rainpaws might be in a position to get caught out here by the Arc Warden, but actually it's Arc Warden that ends up backing off. The downside, engagement about to happen.
Oh.
Can't go this deep.
This is maybe Chosen One.
Nice body block.
Gonna have a haste inside the fight. Zakata's gonna try and get the jump in. Global Sans, but is there really any fault? It's a heavy commitment. They're still trying to chase down Zakata though, as Killer has the RP at the ready. Let's see if he's gonna be able to find an angle to use it though. Finally gets in range. Gorkin's gonna try and TP him, but the defensive 4-staff gets Zakata out of danger. Very nicely done.
It's just his Tempest as well. He's still able to just go back to farming. He could have TP'd in any time he wanted, but really just knowing that, you know what, they ended up using a lot as well. I mean, what I was saying before that all broke out is that I'm a little worried for Big Brain that they haven't gotten quite active enough. Yes, you've got a crazy amount of farm on God King, but we all know that the way to be able to swarm over that Medusa is just bursting her down. And what has she been able to get for herself in that time? She's got a full butterfly. So, you know, even when you've got that Manta style and 6 Arc Wardens, please, Rainpaws, if you're the one to take it, that would be so much justice. Oh, he's going towards him. Yes!
Let's go.
Oh, I feel so happy. What did Venos? Venos level 12 now, by the way. He was level like 9.5 before that.
That's so much experience for the Deuce now. Top of the level, Sakata. They're going to be able to set up for the lasso as well. And now with God King nearby, they'll have an overwhelming amount of damage. They're even looking for more as well, but they're going to be cautious. Chosen One considering about going. Medusa's even going to look to try and tip in as well. So Rainpaws wants to turn the fight back around. They're just going to avoid her though. Completely avoid the Medusa as best as they can. Now God King feels strong enough. They're just leaving her to last. Stonegaze is out,
trying to find the real one.
God King over to the right side. They're going to be able to protect him though. The rest of the support split from their carry. God King tries to get away with the Manta, but it's not to be. He's still got the Tempest double to work with though. They need to respect the damage as Medusa starting to lose some of her mana. Another jump over the top, and now with all the mana gone, her health will follow as well. So in the end, even though they got the big kill onto God King, it's not to be, as it might get a team wipe as well as Big Brain. Well, unfortunately, Earthspirit was trying to be the hero player there.
Harpoon range.
Didn't have the boys. Can he get in range? Not.
Okay. Close though. I mean, it was It might have even come down to the fact that the I don't think the Guardian Greaves ended up clipping onto the Venomancer. He had 2 seconds left on the Noxious Plague cooldown. Now he's finished up the full Glimmer Cape as well, so a little bit of extra survivability for himself. Just, I'm sure, again, like, if he's the one getting main focus, then he's just got to make sure that, look, as long as I get off my ultimate, I'm happy with how this team fight's going to end up for myself. I mean, even trade, you would have to say, especially with a lot of that eventual experience and farm going over to Cicada, is going to be favoring Big Brain. Like, now he's actually starting to scale. He was getting dominated by Chosen One, and he still is 3 levels behind, but he's starting to scale in his own right. Manta Style completed, he's got a Shield Rune, Harpoon to be able to play around with. It's just so much damage that you're able to output now, just with a Void Spirit on his own.
I mean, we see his counterpart in that fight, Chosen One. It was a really big issue as well for Dire. Last to get on top of the Ember Spirit. He's just pumping in so much damage. He's gone Blink Dagger as well for the Ember, so recognizing his role is just to try and create as much chaos as possible and limit how freely God King can easily right-click inside the fight. So I know you just mentioned Void Spirit being able to scale, but Ember is already at that stage at the moment. Here's a big issue. Bottom Killer. What's going on here? He's got a boy to be with him, 6K. Killer's going to be able to activate the BKB, tries to get the skewer on over the top. So the Global Silence is able to come into play. Still, there's a lot of damage. Killer doesn't really care about the silence. With all this right-click damage, Magnus able to lock onto his top. Now, they might be considering Roche as well.
Yep, going to be 20 seconds until it comes down bottom. Killer hasn't read the patch notes, still checking inside of it, even though it is the night time, but they should be in a position to be able to just shove this lane out one more time, pick up maybe 1 more stack's worth of creeps for themselves, even just putting that deep lane ward down there as well to make sure that they scout out any sort of movements that they're looking to make towards the Roche pit. Even with this time as well, Rainpaws has been able to get an MKB for himself. So, you know, we talk about the strength of that magnetic field that the Arc Warden has to play around with. Not quite so strong anymore. I really feel like it can't be stated how much damage this Arc Warden could do in general, but I feel like his effectiveness would have been just that little bit stronger if he was able to get just a tiny bit more active. And once again, they just make a move a little bit too late. I know Batrider was just respawning, but...
God King? Okay. They've got a really good lane ward. Smoke's gonna pop as well. Really far blink. Killer's gonna be able to find the Arc though. Oh, what an opening! Killer RP onto the Sarge as well. You could not have asked for a better way for the Magnus to start the fight. And now with their main damage source down, there is no hope for Cicada to turn it back in a Dire's favor. He'll be able to bring 1 person into the grave with him, but it comes at such a grave cost. A 5-man wipe, and they can probably go high ground with this as well.
Absolutely, there really isn't anything stopping them. You know, Deucer plenty farmed at this point. Chosen One living up to his name as well. He is beyond godlike, 12-1-7 at the end of all of this, but it was really the Medusa just at that point able to dish out so much damage. If you're the ones that get the jump, which is probably the main thing that they've had difficulty with up until this portion of the game, then I mean, you just know that you're so much stronger, but they're actually going to end up backing off, I guess, realizing that, look, they didn't really get the use out of the global, the lasso that time around, and you know, any time that you look at a siege high ground against a Batrider, that's always going to be a bit of a scary prospect, but you aren't going to get many chances to be able to go high ground against an Arc Warden when he's dead as well. I'd be satisfied enough just taking this tier 2 mid though, much safer prospect. Just saw Venom, I'm sure he was smiling at the end of that, right? He got focused, but he got off everything. Couple of Plague Wards, Venomous Gale, Noxious Plague, Solar Crested his Deuce, and he was like, all right, my job's done.
Yeah, that's kind of his role, right? Like, as long as he gets spells off, he doesn't care if people focus him.
Bingo.
Man, the support's on Radiant overall. Don't look at the deaths on the Venomancer. Look at all the assists. 22 kill participation out of the 28. And... had a really, really incredible performance so far. Still, oh, what's going on, Glip?
It's a big kill streak.
Okay, so
Dire's top tower is under attack.
what happened? Did they somehow pop Lincoln's and... So I think they popped Lincoln's lasso into global as well.
And magnetize. So they had silence coming through from the Geo Grip.
well. Dude, why is Lasso 33-second cooldown? What have they done to this hero? Quickening Charm, Octarine, sure, I get it. But this is going to be a really big issue as the game goes on now. That is there's no save on limit at all. Every Lasso is a kill. So for CSJ, who does he need to put priority on? Because you know one person is going to die through this combo. Who do you think it needs to be, though?
I mean, you have to just imagine, like, who is the most killable. Does he have anything? Okay, he's got the Force Staff to be able to pop the Lincoln, so you would have to say it's probably going to be that Earth Spirit, right? We know that the Venomancer really isn't worth going on to. I mean, maybe it is. Like, he's still doing so much impact just off the back of the Noxious Plague. Maybe you want to take away the Mirana's Moonlight Shadow now that she's level 17. Should be fine.
They might want to fight with Ember Dead, though. I guess Cicada's not here, but he's also got a TP.
Nice flame
no
break.
way to really connect. Gonna get out.
Ooh, okay.
Scared.
I mean, I don't think there really is like a right choice. Probably like, I don't think you kill the Magnus at this state. He's got 4.1k HP. He's got a Defiant Shell as well, so he's going to be right-clicking you during a lot of that lockdown. And I mean, at the end of everything, he's going to be able to get off the BKB and RP at the end of things anyway, right? So it's just about finding that quicker pick-off. I feel like that's probably going to be on the Ember Spirit. Still 3k HP, but Venomancer might just have to be the one. Probably who you want to be using that lasso onto, but again, with it being just the 45-second cooldown, you could probably afford to.
Top lane, they're actually trying to connect to the Tempest double, CSJ. Lose vision of Killer that does get a glimpse of Cicada entering the high ground, maybe over to the right side as well.
This could be a good RP.
Looking to start the fight on the separate side. Early use of the BKB is going to help CSJ reposition.
He's on the high ground.
Flame break. Gets God King out to safety, so hasn't really been able to reposition so far.
Killer's just chased him down.
Definitely their main target. Beelining towards it. Tunnel vision almost. Finally, we'll be able to get the RP, but it's so deep inside Dire's territory that it's going to take too long for them to be able to help out. And now Dire, they're looking to try and take the fight. Medusa stands strong, reins in the damage. So Spirit forced to use, and that'll be enough to protect himself against the remaining damage that was soon to come out. As
Aegis just expired.
Aegis expired. No global silence, so this is a very difficult kill. He's still got the Stone Gaze as well. Maybe they just put themselves, they're engraved as now Rain Pause. He can look to turn it back around. God King's in some trouble. Turned to stone. There's no way they can protect him. It was all a bait in the end. They thought they could get the Medusa kill, but it's not to be. No one without a buyback or their hopes of staying alive is Cicada. Up to the Tempest double as Rain Pause falling low. He's going to go under the tier 4 tower, and in the end, they will somehow make it an even exchange. It was looking scary, but what a crazy fight deep inside Dire's territory.
That could have been close to game if the Medusa ends up living off the back of all of that. Crazily enough, like, she still doesn't have this big defensive item. You know, the Manta style being used for a lot of the aggressive side of things. No BKB, no Lincoln Spirits being picked up now, but they're really getting punished, both sides, for not having this additional way to survive through a lot of these fights. Great timing, though, on that lasso at the end of everything. Maybe could have even worked a little bit better for them, if not for that stray arrow connecting onto the Batrider on the retreat. Maybe get another flame break back underneath the tier 4 just that little bit sooner. And we see what damage even just the towers are able to output.
And
the magnetic field did a lot.
Not even on the screen, on the camera, sorry. We saw the Void Spirit was able to blow up the Magnus and the Mirana. So was able to pick off the backline. He didn't die in that fight, Denok. He's level 26. He got 10,000 experience for Cicada. So this is a Daedalus Nullifier with the 25 talent. He is a really big issue. Cicada's 9-1 and 10, dude. He was struggling for a good portion of this game. Like, don't get it wrong. Chosen One bodied him mid lane. A lot of the Mirana rotations really made it difficult for him to play, but he's going to be a big issue now as this game goes on.
Even just looking at, like, the actual damage that you get. You know, we talk about the Daedalus, we talk about the Nullifier. As Chosen One, he's in a little deep, and he's forced to pop a BKB just to be able to escape after they take a tier 2 tower already. The Nullifier and the Manta style, even just on their own, right? Those are going to provide a lot of additional damage too. I think combined, it's about I want to say 80 damage just from those two, in addition to all of the stats that it provides. So kind of crazy to think that, you know, you get 75 damage from the Nullifier, you get 80 damage from Harpoon, Manta combined, you get Daedalus, 88 damage plus the crit on top of everything. Cicada, he can blow people up.
Yeah, and what do you know? He actually even went Penta Edge Sword at the D4, so even more damage for him. And the melee range is going to be really nice. So
he just did 1,200 damage through a crit to one of the creeps there. So
very cool. Okay, just Tempest double. It's okay. Well, they were setting up a trap up top, but not to be. Meanwhile, I mean, bottom lane is kind of needs to be addressed. Or Cicada's going to feel strong enough just to beat into the tower. Because that is one thing is like, how do they kill him as well? It seems like you kind of have to use RP to actually get the kill into the Void Spirit. Because if you chains into Arrow, well, if chains in general, he's going to be able to Manta it off. So
well, they need to make a choice regardless. You got Dusa pushing bot, you got Arc Warden pushing bottom. Who's the first rotation?
Where did he die?
Next to the bounty rune. At least he's got buyback. This is the issue, right? Going up against the magnetic field. I guess with the MKB, it's not quite as big of a deal. It's pumping everything in here onto Rain Pauses. Nice Lotus.
Even better force stuff though. CSJ, it's out of the Harpoon. It's a call. Very tricky position for them to be in. You might be forced to use that buyback on the silencer. If he's going to, maybe waiting for the lasso though, so they get that lasso global silence, could be a guaranteed kill.
Yeah. I like the fact that he waited so long. It's like you didn't actually just panic pop the buyback into the global. Needs to wait until it's confirmed the lasso onto the right target. This is the thing, going up against an Arc Warden, you're not going to have many chances. He's died 7 times this game, but it's gotten to a late game Arc Warden, and he's even going to have that level 25 soon. So, oh, we found. Quick pick.
It's like we found the Venom. Very quick pick.
So I wonder what the choice is now for talents for the Arc Warden, ever since they changed it to the no damage penalty for the distance. I guess it just depends on, like, what are you looking to focus more on? Is it more on the pushing, or is it more on like the full-on Rat Dota style? Do you just want that additional damage going in onto these towers without the 50% damage reduction?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I'm not quite sure. What was it?
I want to say it was Spark Wraith damage, maybe, like a lot more.
Yeah, there's a 20 talent now with that 35% Spark Wraith, but I do feel like it was either that or cooldown. I don't know.
I have no micro.
Rain Pause. Uh-oh. He's so far away from any other teammate.
No buyback.
Yikers. That is so much damage. Blows him up. 100 to 0. And they've got a bottom creep wave that's pretty shoved in as well. So this no doubt will be a full set of barracks. They at least have a tier 2 mid and a tier 1 top. I mean, they're even getting their barracks of their own. So
this is exactly what they need to do. They need to try and force them to come back. And I wonder if this behavior is going to like give away the situation with the Medusa, right? There's no reason that they would be going for this deep of a dive unless this would like potentially result in multiple lanes of racks being given up for them. Chosen one? Okay. That Rider will get the Veno, and it costs his Flaming Lasso to be able to do it. But still, you get a full lane of racks. You don't lose anything of your own. You might lose a ranged, but there's that backdoor protection that's kicked in as well. So Veno's kind of done his job as well, just off the back of that death. Killer just wanting this Tempest double to be removed. Went for the duration overall, so more relying on the split push rather than that full-on Rat Dota damage. Probably the found to help him out. Got the last hit, that's the important thing.
Yeah. No. Well, looks like they'll get Roche though, at least.
Look at all those beautiful Arc Warden illusions.
That's just so much damage, man. That's crazy. 4 to 0 from him. Just solo too. So he's even going to leave the Aegis. See, Shay picks it up. God King wants to be nowhere near these team fights. Big item though. Killer, we've seen his KDA's not looking too good for him, but he has been able to get some pretty decent RPs. See if he's going to be able to find the first into the second as well.
So still isn't able to get, like, you're still wanting to rely on creeps for a lot of this push potential. So I have to wonder, like, is God King going to look to time some of his next few Tempest double usages around getting the creeps in a good spot so that those 45-minute siege creeps are going to actually put a lot more pressure out onto the map? Like, he didn't get the Aegis, so the fact that he's potentially looking to buy out for this Bloodthorn is a little bit more challenging.
There's 3 more Wisdom Runes.
I'm triggered.
It's understandable. No way, dude. It's so funny we completely forgot about them as well.
I just would have assumed that they would have learnt their lesson, you know?
And the fact that Die haven't even gone there still, like, that's another thing.
I mean, they've been pretty on point with picking them up basically on time. You know, maybe like a minute or 2 late, but not 21 minutes late. All right, I'm going to predict that those are going to stay until the end of the game. No one's going to pick them up. They haven't even attempted to do Tormentor. Has anyone? I don't think a single Tormentor's gone down this game.
Oh, mid lane Chosen One. He's already manned to BKB, but that's where the lasso's able to come into play. Do they have the damage? One Remnant, but he's out of Remnants now. Oh no, Chosen One once again just playing too aggressive. Arrow though does connect. There's the bubble that's able to come into play. Keeps Cicada healthy enough until the stimulates at the ready.
Mana's running low, my guy.
Yep, force the Stone Gaze to try and get himself away from the Tempest double. Lasso's up in 10. They might stalk Rain Pause. Let's see what the call is going to be from DPC. Will be running underneath the ward. He's going to try and do his best to disrupt kill.
He's got Aegis, remember.
Skill back. Second
Lasso's
life,
coming
what are
up.
they going to be able to do? This is looking like a great fight for Dire if they can try and address the Medusa now.
RP.
With the Rain and Cast being killed off. RP's there, but it's not going to matter. Rain Pause still once again goes down because look at God King, man. Fight after fight, God King can just freely get the damage out with no concern of his own life because the rest of the boys are doing such an incredible job to play in front of him.
Tried to get that double value out of the RP there on Killer, but his main focus just needed to be to stop that lasso from going in onto the main target. It just let them deal so much damage into that Medusa with no turnaround potential. Ends up only getting the Earth Spirit, and I think the second one maybe connects onto the Bat Rider, but that was after Dusa was already dead, so the value of that is gone. And they could just look to push it down. At least Dusa has buyback this time around, but really want to be buying back on a Medusa when you're already this far behind. He's going to be forced to. And this is that 45-minute timing as well.
They've showcased they can kill the Medusa too. So Medusa, I don't think he
Lasso's
can be here. Lasso's going to be there, and she's just gone once again. Oh no! That's just game.
Should have got the Wisdom Runes.
One mistake. Oh no! They got a couple of buybacks, but this is an almost insurmountable task. Chosen One is going to try and do whatever he can. A lot of damage onto CSJ. They'll be able to take the Bat Rider out of the equation. But their throne is now exposed. Mags up in 15. Can they stall it out? Chosen One still toying with his food. How many more remnants has he got to work with? In fact, he's completely
doesn't have buyback either.
Harpoon back into the roll. And with Chosen One dying, that'll be all she wrote.
All right.
Throne
It needs to be the perfect RP into the skewer, back into the fountain. Can they do it? Venom's not even using Glimmer Cape or
They're going
Force
to lose
Stuff.
Marana, and Killer will try, but it's not enough by himself. It's a good RP. That is a wall that he will not be able to beat through. So in the end, what a crazy game, 47 minutes. But it's going to be the boys on big.